actually deserves the 2025 FIFA Ballon d'Or? Is it the player having a record-breaking season in the best league in the world? Is it the player tearing up the Champions League en route to a potential treble? Or is it the player with the best claim to being the new heir to football? With the Ronaldo and Messi era truly dead and buried, the Ballon d'Or debate has never been more alive. Now I know what you're thinking, it's the month of March. Do we really need to be talking about the FIFA Ballon d'Or in the month of March? The short answer is yes. Guys, although the winner is only announced on the 27th of October 2025, we are in the business end of the football season. Remember that the award is given to a player based on their performance for a football season and not the calendar year, right? Or in most cases, right? In any case, we are in the business end of the football season. Domestic cup competitions are in the quarterfinal and semi-final stages. Europa League, Champions League is also there, about quarterfinals, heading into semi-finals. Leagues are being wrapped up, if not wrapped up already. And a lot, and I mean a lot, has changed in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And with that, I'll actually dovetail into the first player I'll be speaking about. So if you had to go back 3 or 4 weeks, there was a clear, and I mean clear, front runner on everyone's mind to win the 2025 FIFA Ballon d'Or. And without a doubt, that has to be Mohamed Salah. Now, I support Manchester United, right? I take the mick out of Liverpool and other rival clubs, including Mohamed Salah, all the time. But I am a football fan that loves narratives, and this storyline was unmatched. First of all, Mohamed Salah's last season with Liverpool. We have seen a lot of news in the media. Doesn't look like he's renewing his contract. Doesn't look like he's been offering anything. There's been rumors of Saudi Arabia, all these things. It's Arne Slot's first season. And third and most importantly, Mohamed Salah has been absolutely insane this season. I have to say that, although I don't think his play is anywhere like flipping Eden Hazard or anything like that, but the guy's been sensational, and I think the word I'm looking for is effective this season, right? Liverpool are clearly going to win the Premier League, and Mohamed Salah had a massive role in that. If I look at his stats, 32 goals, 22 assists in 43 games. That's absurd. That's 44 goal contributions in 43 games. Also, he could potentially break Erling Haaland's record for the most goals in a Premier League season, as well as break Thierry Henry's record for the most assists in the Premier League season. That alone, and winning the Premier League, and I mean, could have really pushed him to win the Ballon d'Or, and it's fitting. I think the narrative aspect of the Ballon d'Or is such a major factor. It's the reason why Lionel Messi edged out Erling Haaland just a few years ago. He won the World Cup. People thought it was his last World Cup ever. Even though Haaland won a treble and had a record-breaking season, Messi got the Ballon d'Or. It was just a fitting into the storyline. Now, why is Mohamed Salah no longer the front runner to win the Ballon d'Or? Well, in the last 2 weeks, Liverpool crashed out of the Champions League. PSG and Ousmane Dembele knocked them out on penalties. And they also lost the Carabao Cup final to Dan Burn and Newcastle, right? And as you know, silverware is a massive deal when winning the Ballon d'Or, especially the Champions League, right? I mean, Liverpool finished top of the UCL league table, right? The new format that's in the Champions League. Just for them to bypass, I think, the playoffs, make it to the round of 16, and then get knocked out by PSG that's been struggling in Europe for the last few years, kind of puts a tainter on your chances of winning the Ballon d'Or, in all honesty. And I think Mohamed Salah has dropped from first on that list to maybe third or fourth, in all honesty, right? And with that, we can look at a second player, somebody who is still in the Champions League, and to be very honest with you, looking like he could be on a historic treble season. That player is Raphinha from Barcelona. This guy has been tormenting teams in the UEFA Champions League. He is, I think, 2 or 3 goals away from equaling Messi's record in a single Champions League season. If I look at his stats, he's currently on 27 goals and 20 assists. Crazy. In 42 appearances in all competitions. I think Barcelona have already won the Supercopa de España earlier this season, so he's got an honor to his name. They are in the running to win La Liga, the Copa del Rey. I think they are in the second leg of the semi-finals or quarterfinals against Atletico, and they're in the Champions League, and I think they're up against Borussia Dortmund, which I believe, and I think a lot of people would believe, that they would easily bypass to make it to the next round. Barcelona are incredible, man. The front three of Robert Lewandowski, Raphinha, Lamine Yamal has been absolutely insane this season. And a lot of people would argue that Lamine Yamal has been Barcelona's best player in terms of pure footballing brilliance, passing the eye test, things like that. But Raphinha's numbers have been so effective. He's been the most impactful player, and that's what it boils down to. The player that carries your team over the line across various competitions is effective and just, grabs all the headlines. I think, without a shadow of a doubt, Raphinha is the front runner to win the Ballon d'Or since Mohamed Salah dropped off from that spot. Not sure how I feel about a player that played at Leeds just a few seasons back or potentially winning the Ballon d'Or. I don't know, man. It seems weird. I think, like I mentioned with Salah, there's such a legacy and a narrative aspect to the Ballon d'Or. If Raphinha had to win the Ballon d'Or, we'd have, Kaká, Ronaldo Messi, Modric, Benzema, Rodri, which we won't get into, and then Raphinha. Don't get me wrong, he's played exceptional football this season. Clearly, Barcelona doesn't buy a player from Leeds United unless that player is a massive talent, right? He'd be the first Brazilian to win it since Kaká as well, which is insane given the fact that we've had Neymar, Vinicius Jr. It would be insane. I don't know. I think he's a lot of people's favorites, but personally, he's not my favorite, right? Then, getting into the player that is the new heir to football. We've had Messi, we've had Ronaldo, we've had Neymar, hailed as the prince that was supposed to become king. Don't think he's done that, right? Well, I think it's safe to say he hasn't done that. Then we have Kylian Mbappe, right? World Cup winner. Player that has won many League titles, done well in the Champions League, made it to a Champions League final, never won the competition, actually made it to a second World Cup final, lost to Argentina. I think for most people, the best player in the world, and that's what I mean when I say the new heir to football, because the guy's absolutely insane. If we look at raw talent, he genuinely is the peak of football at the moment. A lot of people would argue Erling Haaland is his, you could say his rival, his nemesis, but the technical difference is huge. Also, first season at Real Madrid. Real Madrid could also win La Liga this season. Also, they could win Copa del Rey, and they could also win the UEFA Champions League. So, if anything, we could see this come down to it being either a Barcelona or a Real Madrid player, and that means 3 competitions would affect that. Champions League, La Liga, Copa del Rey. Right? He's on 30 goals and 4 assists in 43 games. He obviously had a bad start at the Bernabeu. Since then, he's then made up and been in excellent form. We've seen him at his best again, especially in that match or in the tie against Manchester City in the playoffs of the Champions League. And then also, we know that he's just a few goals away from equaling and surpassing Cristiano Ronaldo's tally for his debut season at Real Madrid, which, doesn't say he's a better player, but he had a better debut season. So I think, Champions League and La Liga, Mbappe could make a late shout for a Ballon d'Or this season. Then, getting into a player that I don't think is in people's, top 2, top 3. For most people, it's Salah, Raphinha, and then a mixture of, let's say, Vinicius, perhaps Pedri, Mbappe. Honorable mention for Harry Kane as well, is going under the radar. But for me, when we speak about narratives in football and we speak about a comeback story, a player that was highly regarded a few years ago at Borussia Dortmund, moved to Barcelona, flopped, you could say, never really lived up to the hype, and is now meeting the expectations that he set so many years ago. That player is none other than Ousmane Dembele, knocking Liverpool out of the Champions League 2 weeks back, having an amazing season in Ligue 1. I see it here, he's got 30 goals and 6 assists in 37 league games, or games in all competitions. PSG unbeaten as well. Obviously, we expect PSG to win Ligue 1 comfortably every single season, but I think that if PSG goes unbeaten, they've already won the French Super Cup. If they add a cup to that as well and go far in the Champions League, and not to mention the UEFA Nations League as well. France made it to the semi-finals just yesterday. It's looking tough, man. It's genuinely looking tough. There's Dembele, there's Mbappe. It's a crazy one, in all honesty, but I feel like that would be the perfect story. Ousmane Dembele written off, not seen as a failed wonder kid, but just seen as somebody that never really lived up to expectations. Kind of like like a Mario Götze, a player like that, but being so talented at the same time. It would be perfect, genuinely. And I think definitely, if PSG go far in the Champions League, let's say finals, let's say they win it, it would be PSG's first ever UCL title, doing something that Mbappe couldn't do. Mbappe and Neymar and Messi couldn't achieve. It would be absolutely insane, man. And for me personally, it's the Ballon d'Or winner I would like to see this season, because I think that the Ballon d'Or needs to remember great players. Do I think Raphinha is going to be remembered as a great player? Not really. Could have been Salah if certain factors were met. I think definitely Ousmane Dembele and Kylian Mbappe, they could be the front runners for me. I think a lot of people might disagree, but we'll have to see, right? So we'll have to see how the UEFA Champions League goes, we'll have to see how the UEFA Nations League goes, and we'll also have to see how the Club World Cup goes. But yeah, there you have it, guys. Let me know your predictions down below. Who do you think should win the FIFA Ballon d'Or? Who do you think would deserve it more? And also, do you think that the Champions League and international competitions should carry so much weight in deciding who is crowned the FIFA Ballon d'Or winner? If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next upload. I'll catch you guys in the next one.